You had, I looked at your filmography. Majority of your films are Telugu films.
Yes.
What is the reason?
I think the scripts that I was offered were I couldn't say no to, so I ended up doing more films in Telugu.
You are valued more in Telugu film industry.
I think here I had more scripts which I could perform or I wanted to be part of. So I think that's how. Is a conversation in English fine, right?
Yes.
English is okay.
That has something to do with your debut film, because Shekhar Kamala has beautifully written your character.
True. Yeah.
And till date, that kind of quality in your characters is being maintained.
Yeah. I've been very lucky that I got to work with the best of directors, be it my first film Premam. So since then, the directors I've worked with have always worked for something which is not the usual way of portraying women. So I'm lucky that I met or I had an encounter with such directors. From there, my mind also started shaping up, and my needs and my wanting, my cravings started changing.
Right.
Otherwise, I had no idea what I was doing in an industry. So I started realizing that this is what I like and this is what I don't like. I didn't learn it in the first go itself.
Most of them are other backed roles.
I guess so, yeah.
Tell us about your character in this film.
I think every character that I've played, I always try to connect with it, and I try to bring some part of me into the film, and I take a little bit of the film into my life. But this is some story which comes from a time which I am not very or fully aware of. The way people thought at that point of time, their mindset and what they would go and up to what extent they'd go for love. And all of this was very new for me, because right now I'm taught to be in my own comfort zone. I'm taught to love inside my space. I don't think I'll go out of my way to prove my love to someone. So this seemed to be a very different mindset of that woman itself, was something very different. So it took me a while for me to understand and not judge her in the beginning, but try to think about how things processed and in her head. And from there it was just a beautiful journey. That's when you start playing different lives, is when you'll start understanding that there are different personalities out there. Otherwise, you're always spending time with yourself. You think what you feel is real, what you feel is true. You don't know how the other person feels. If it's only your family, you know that. But when you're playing characters like this, you know that there are people like this existing out there, and I'm just lucky to have been educated with such characters.
Same is the case with your earlier film also, Shyam Singh.
Yes.
Character, it's also a period character.
True.
So you went and met somebody in Warangal.
I did.
So just tell us about that. Is it based on some real characters?
It is based on real incidents which happened around there, and I think Venu Garu had done some research on this because he didn't want to go wrong, and the incidents should be as real as possible from around that town and the city, I think. So this was one such personality that I think from whose life he had taken few incidents. So we went to meet their family, and that was the first time I was meeting them. The mother asked me to sit close to her, and then she started talking to me like how she would talk to her daughter. She said, "Ekkada poyavu? Enduku inni rojulu raatle? Don't you miss us?" And I got very emotional because I haven't met a family who I've played.
Right.
Parts of it I've played, and when they talk to you like I am that person, I do not know how to cut off. It's a very different emotion, and to know about their at that point of time, their mindset, how the family was thinking, what was going inside each one's head, and how the society was at that point of time. I got to know more of it from, maybe all these days it was from Venu Garu's perspective, or from what he would educate us on. But now we got to hear it from people who were existing at that point of time. So it was a very different feeling for me, and I think I was a little scared actually, because there was so much of pain, and there was so much of hurt, and there was so much of other emotions. You generally try to cover it up over the years, but there are few deep-rooted thoughts and few emotions that will never die down. I saw them yesterday, so it was quite an experience.
You are very passionate about your films and your characters, and you go out of your way to promote the film and stay with the unit all the time and make yourself available for each and every promotional event. what motivates you to do so? Because most of the heroines are, very commercial and they have price for everything. But you
I
are the kind of person who is very emotional about the films you make.
I definitely can't speak for anyone else because I know that every actor does a film because he or she wants to, be known as the person who played that part. But I think maybe situation, but they might not be able to make it there, either family emergencies or maybe they're working continuously and it's inevitable. So I don't think anyone should think of it any other way. I think given this current time, I've always kept time separately when it comes to promotions because I think nobody better than the ones who are involved in the film who can tell people how honestly we've made this film. So for me it becomes more of a responsibility where we've played a part. Audience do not know how much we should believe and what has happened into it. It has to come through our mouth. And sometimes when I believe in something and when I speak to people and when they have the same emotion when they watch the film, it's more validating for me. I feel more okay, so we were thinking the right way and I believed in something and I told them, they came and watched it and they did enjoy the film. So it makes me much more cautious when I pick scripts and when I do them because I think that it is important that the people and the artists have that connect, because when they don't like a film it actually affects us a lot, because we will think, where did we go wrong? We thought that this will work for them. Nobody makes films just to make film and put it out there. You go inside with a belief. So when you believe something and you put it out there and when it works, it's very validating.
Right. You understand and speak so many languages, including foreign languages like
Georgian little bit, yes.
Yeah. So how is it for you to pick so many languages? Or how difficult it is?
It's not easy, but when it's put in I think my second language in school was Hindi, and if you ask me right now how good I am in Hindi, I would rate it 40-50%. But if you ask me how I speak Telugu, I know I don't speak perfect Telugu, but I know I'm much more fluent. At least in my head I can hear Telugu words. I don't have to translate it from my mother tongue to Telugu. I'm starting to think, I'm starting to think in Telugu. So I think it is how passionate you are about your work that drives you to do that. I think in school I was a pretty bad student, that's why I wasn't able to get Hindi right. But I'm pretty sure every time I do a film that I'm passionate about, I learn the language and I own it up, so it becomes mine. So it is not whether it's difficult or hard, it's how much passion I have on that project or in that particular subject that I'm playing.
So most of you know you as a very good dancer due to D, and now as one of the best actresses. So other than this, what's your passion? What personally interests you?
I like working on myself. I think that plays a major role in how I look at life and how I deal with scripts and all of that. So every time I cut off from myself and I'm too much involved in work and other things, I feel like I am a different person doing something else. I'm not there in the moment. So if you ask me what I'm passionate about, I think I want to be the best version of myself, and I try ways in which I can. So maybe meditation and the spiritual practices. I think I'm somewhere interested to know more about myself in ways. And I grew up in an environment where everybody spoke of enlightenment like as if it was cakewalk, and I know that someone who's grown up in that background, you'll want to at some point of time feel that emotion that your parents and your grandparents spoke of. So sometimes when I want to work on myself and make sure that I'm a little more sound in my mind.
Right. So what do you do for fun basically?
I'm not a very fun person, I think so. My sister is the fun version of me, and I like being to myself. I don't like going out much. So I have fun when I'm at home with my friends and family. I don't have something which I think that I don't have to do something to have fun. I just feel happy.
You enjoy your yourself.
I'm content with the way I feel because I have joy when I go and shoot. I have so much joy when I promote and when I watch the film on screens. I think that is left for that. Rest of the time, I feel content and very neutral. I don't have those heightened emotions, which in other terms you could call boring. So I don't think that I am a very socially active person, social person. I would love to travel, which I haven't been able to. I always want to travel, say solo, but there's still this fear in my head if I might get lost or something. You know, the trafficking thing. I think I was a little traumatized when I was a kid. So since then, getting lost in a place has always troubled me.
That,
Yeah, it stays there in my head. Because once when I was a child, I got lost. Apparently, my parents were in a shopping. They were in a shop, and I just got lost in a crowd. I don't know how they found me. And my dad said if I had gotten lost that day, you know, most of the kids are lost forever. So from then I think the fear started. So solo traveling, I think that will be the most craziest, exciting thing that I would do.
right. What are the other films you're doing now?
I'm doing a Tamil film that will start by the end of the year. Otherwise, rest of the time I'm just reading scripts and looking for the right one for me to be part of.
Yeah. I mean, getting a script, solid script is not a easy thing like a commercial film,
Yeah.
right?
A well-written script, that is
Yeah.
all. Or good character is what I'm looking for, and I believe that whoever deserves to play each role will get it. Maybe until now, whatever scripts I've read, I didn't deserve to play them. Maybe so, whichever is written for me will be mine at the right time.
Right. Thanks a lot.
Thank
All the
you,
best.
thank you so much. Thank you. I'm glad we spoke in English.
Yeah.